So, hey guys, thanks very much for being involved again in another Twine Hangout. My name's Joe Scarf and I'm the Community Marketing Manager for Twine. Twine is a network that brings creative freelancers together and helps them collaborate and find paid work. So if you're a producer looking for a vocalist or rapper, or even for a graphic designer or a filmmaker, you can post up opportunities and pitch on projects. And we've got a community of over 150,000 artists from all over the world. So if you've not checked it out before, go to the site at twine.fm or check out our apps for iPad and iPhone on the App Store. So today we've got some great artists from all over the world doing this. We've got some guys that you should know by now from previous weeks. We've got Bishop, who's the founder and CEO of Mob Out Entertainment, as well as a talented artist in his own right. We've got Chazz, who's he's president of Mob Out Entertainment. He's also got years of experience in A&R and mentoring artists. We've got Calvin Venus, who's a music producer and an engineer from Houston, Texas. And we've got Jesus, or Brainiac Beats, aka El Cerebro. He's an international hip-hop DJ and producer with a wide range of experience producing for artists worldwide. He's also produced more than 60 officially released tracks and different albums, some of the biggest Spanish artists, plus 11 whole albums. So great to have you here for the first time. And yeah, today I just wanted to speak about bands, collectives, and groups, and just hear some of your guys' stories and get some of your advice on how to join bands and like just your words of advice on how to keep them going, how to be consistent, and just how to avoid some of the pitfalls that there can be. So, yeah, I was looking at Kokane's work, who we're hoping is going to join us today for the call. But when he signed to Cop Records and formed the group, the Hood Mob, with Cricket and Contraband, for him that was quite a dramatic change in style for his work, and a return to the G-Funk style that he's known for. And I just wanted to ask Bishop first, have you been part of collectives as you've grown as an artist, and how has that changed your style as an artist and helped you develop?
Well, yeah, I've been a part of a group before. We were called the Crash Unit, and it was fun. I mean, it was fun at first, I mean, we made great music, but you have to be able to compromise when you're in this, when you become a group. Everybody is different because it was 3 individual artists that came together. But if you can't compromise, it's never going to last. So I mean, that's the worst thing about it. You may have one person that thinks he's better than the other, or he should be on more tracks than the other. I mean, but if you can come together and make it work, then it'll work, So that was my ups and downs on it. I mean, we made great music. We still talk to this day. We might have a reunion come up to where we make another album. But overall, as far as it having any kind of longevity to it, you have to be able to compromise. That's the best I can tell you about that, from my experience anyway.
And what are the things you need to compromise on?
Just pretty much the whole everything about the group. You guys have to be on the same page. If you're going to be a group and you see this as being a solid group and you want to continue on as a group, then you have to compromise on certain things as far as projects that you wanted to put out on your own. Okay, you have to start off as a group. You have to continue to strive as a group. I mean, I'll give a prime example, like with In Vogue. Okay, they were a group. Okay. But then once Maxine broke away from the group and everything like that, now she's independent. It's hard for her to try to get her own individuality. you know, you'll be like, okay, Maxine Jones, and they'll be like, who's that? And you'll be like, from In Vogue. So a lot of people still have to attach that group name to themselves before they can actually have any kind of individuality. You see what I'm saying? So that's one of the pitfalls when it comes to being in a group. You don't have your own individuality. It's just the name of the group. But once you try to break off and do your own thing, people don't recognize you as being an individual artist. They only recognize you as whatever the name of the group is. So,
right.
Yeah.
But couldn't you also say that being part of something bigger than yourself can be a blend of styles that can make you know, have a lot more impact than you would as a solo artist?
Oh yes, most definitely. But as long as everyone is on the same page. I mean, just like bands, rock bands and stuff like that. Those guys, once you're in a band is totally different from being a group as an artist. You know, because you got individuals coming together. But as a band, they all come together as one in order for it to work. And I'm pretty sure Calvin will know more about that. You know what I'm saying? And everything than I will. Yeah, a little bit more than that than I would. But as far as so I'd like to pass that plug over to him and let him continue on with that one. You know.
Cool. Calvin, take it away.
Well, you pretty much said everything. It's all about, you know, getting together, laying down the boundaries, the rules, the aims, everyone's individual aims. Some people may have differing goals. You hear that at the beginning. Way back in 1992, I was in a band. I can't remember the name of it now. Shows you how significant that was in my life and my career. But we didn't have such conversation, but almost straight away in the studio, it just didn't work. It just didn't click. You couldn't force it.
Right.
But it's nothing like, you know, like you know, Bish was saying, you know, it's a band of brothers, man. Like, it's a family. Just to elaborate on what you're saying, that's the fun side. But you have to, you know, they say about family and business, it's hard to work with family, you know.
Definitely.
But, you know, what's important is a mutual respect for each other. You know, I'm in a band called Third Class, and, you know, we go out sometimes, you know, we watch Star Wars together, you know, we go coffee shop. We were at the studio yesterday, we had pizza, you know, and it's so important to fellowship with each other because, you know, we have different things, like, you know, I engineer, you know, I produce a little, but I do more engineering, and, you know, that world, it can be a little bit stressful, it has its ups and downs as well, and, you know, there's other guys that do graffiti and, you know, make beats, and they have their world, and then when we're collaborating, sometimes, you know, you try not to let that stress come into the group, and that's where fellowship, brotherhood is so essential. Before, you know, you power on the speakers and turn on your Pro Tools, you know, it's important that we get together, because on and off the music, you know, the fans will see the music, they'll see the website, the images, the videos, all that kind of stuff. But, you know, when the music dies, we get back together as a family, and I think we spend more time on family than anything else. And that's how we survive, I guess.
Yes, and that's a good thing. That's an excellent thing right there. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, being friends is good. Having a mutual respect and understanding what each individual does. It's very hard when you have too many guys that do the same thing. But you know, with hip hop collectives, you know, there's a mutual respect for their style, and they add in their style to it, bringing their audience with this audience, and then putting it together. It makes it interesting. You don't want to hear 4 or 5 rappers doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, not at all.
That's correct.
Yeah, you don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear that. No artists want to hear that. And you know, that's a competition. That's unhelpful. But it's always good to have a different, you know, appreciation, approach, style, even sometimes look. You know, if you look at like Outkast, you know, Andre. But they can't be two opposites, but it works together, man. That's what makes it a fruitful, and they're great friends. Way before everything, the Dungeon Family and everybody, but they were great friends beforehand. And there's a video on Netflix that really illustrate. I've forgotten what's the collective, the producer collective. 3 parts. It's on the tip of my tongue.
I saw one on Netflix that had Andre 3000 and Big Boy on it from the earlier years before it all blew up the way it was.
Organized confusion or something like that.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the one. Thanks, Lizzie. Thanks, man. Yeah, if you check out this, it's a great watch on Netflix because you really see that these guys were friends before anything else, and they're still friends now, and that's what galvanizes it. If anyone wants to know what the missing ingredient is for all these productions that you're hearing, some of these guys are just friends for years.
Yeah, and I think it's important to realize that being part of a rap collective or a group, it's not just about trying to create an identity that can shift records. It's about being something that's socially beneficial. And there have been loads of examples of people talking about how it's helped cure their depression.
Yeah.
Or I was seeing one the other day. It was amazing. I can't remember the name of the group, but they're a group of people who are differently abled people, and they rap on tracks as a collective, and just to be able to find other people that share their passion, and people who are going through some of the difficulties that they face in their lives. Music allows them to express that in a really deep way. So I think collectives are a lot more about, say, that kind of band of brothers, like feeling part of something, than it is necessarily just about being a commercial outfit.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't stop at bands. It could be a solo artist. He still has his crew. There's a crew of engineers, producers, even lyricists. That even that could be a band, a collective, so to speak. It's not necessarily, 3 rappers or even a front man to a physical band. It could just be a solo artist that's just doing pop country. I was working with a country artist, and she has a crew of people, and it's like a support network, man. There's times where she don't want to feel like recording, or there's been an event in her life, and as an engineer, I engineer, and I'm a shoulder to cry on sometimes. It's but all of that is part of the music, man. It's just that's the part that's not business. That is the art part.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Jesus, it'd be great to hear your thoughts on this. Have you been part of collectives and groups before, and what's been your experience?
Yeah, I've been DJing for groups since '97, and
Nice.
we got several groups in the south of Spain. We got signed and all that, and we were able to release some records on vinyl and everything. That was our dream at that time. And it was a great experience, man, like being surrounded by people that you look up to, as you guys were saying, and encouraging each other, to grow. But it's hard also to keep the unity during the years, along the years. Life changes, This guy has kids,
Right.
this other guy moves to a different city to get a job or something. It's really hard to keep the unity for many years. But yeah, we're still cool.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. And what would your advice be on keeping that unity?
The basics are simple. It's like just respect each other and try to be productive and try to be a positive energy in the group. I don't know, man. Many things get into the business also of a group, so it's not easy to maintain the unity. I look up to these people like the Rolling Stones and all that keep touring, after so many years.
Yeah.
Many of them will only do it for money, and they are not so cool anymore. But
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's great having your own movement, and nowadays I think that it's really important to have your own movement. Like ASAP Rocky with all the ASAP mob behind them. This kind of collectives, like Odd Future. I see everything like most people like making it out there today. They have a big group of people behind them pushing in the same direction.
Yeah.
Right.
I think so.
Exactly.
What's important is the common denominator. Preserve the common denominator. So it could be where you live. It could be what you're rapping or singing, whatever you're communicating. it could be a particular lifestyle, you know. As long as that common denominator is preserved equally by everybody,
that's the key there.
Yeah, there will be longevity in there. Because in my band, 2 of us are married, the rest are single, and we see that you know, strange, you know, I gotta leave at a certain time, and the reasons is my family, my love is there as well, and the guys can call all night. So what it does, it makes me efficient, but the other guys, they can just relax. That's a weird dynamic.
Right.
But sometimes the more responsibilities we have, the more creative and more productive you are. Yeah?
Oh man, you have to.
Indeed, I agree.
We've got a short time. You know, I'm not moving up the fader up and down 20 times. I'm making instinctive moves, definite moves, and I'm living and dying by that move. So I work faster, I think clearly. You know, I have my ducks in a row. I'm more organized. So much goes into pre-planning, but it's the same with the band. You know, when we rehearse, when it's time to rehearse, yeah, sometimes the married guys are the ones that turn up early, and they're the ones that are strict on time. But it could help. But like I said, it's all about the common denominator, just reminding each other, you know, constantly. We do prayer circles. You know, I know many bands do. We do prayer circles. You know, we're just constantly reminding ourselves that this is beyond us. Like, you know, we're just people, man. We're just passing through. But no, you know, that helps us to not, you know, kill the ego. It's the ego killer right there, man. Just go straight to that prayer circle and just remind each other that, hey, man, we get together because we're brothers.
Yeah. Keep you humble. It keeps you humble, you know. So
Many brands do it. You see pictures of bands getting on before they go on the show, on the concert, and you know, and they get into their little prayer circle, whatever they believe in. And I think the reason why we do that instinctively is because we need each other. You know, we're not, you know, no man could be an island, right? So
right.
Exactly.
You know, I'll play bass, so no one wants to come to a show just to hear the bass.
Unless you're someone like Wooten or someone like that, you know, someone will go and see you.
No Wooten, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I have the looks, but
you're halfway there with the locks. Yeah.
I'm just making.
Chazz, from an A&R perspective, does it help to be part of a collective or a group?
Yes, it does. Like, I would say that would be the #1 thing there, of course. It's like, I played in a band too. I played in gospel bands, rock bands, funk bands back in the day. And the last rock band before we all disbanded, and we were like, just like Calvin said, we were like brothers, man. We talked to each other. We met twice a week. We kept everything down. We practiced hard. We played hard. And when we went on stage, you know, we tried to wow the crowd. And of course, you know, we were all young then, of course, and the family, the parents there broke us up because we had to get education. But as far as A&R, yeah, that's basically what I look at. Well, it's different now than when I was playing because, you know, people are having children a lot earlier. And I mostly look for artists, one with their family, because, you know, you're not doing the family thing, you're not going to be a successful artist. But on the other side with that too, that once you get into the studio, if you are with a group, you all have to, you know, blend or merge together to be one as well. Some people can handle it, some can't. And of course you have some disputes. Their line, you know, somebody had something happen and they bring it into the band or the group. And I usually try to tell them, you know, personal life, we talk about that after we get through doing this. Let's get this group thing done first. Or, you know, if you need a little time, get your stuff together, let's do that, and then let's get this done because, you know, it's sort of like a job, you know. Of course, you go to your job pissed off, somebody said something about you or something didn't work in 100% like you wanted it to, and you got that attitude, and once that attitude comes in, it just sort of destroys the whole click band of everything. So it's basically just ironing out the issues before they become escalated too far to where they're out of control, and then of course, like a lot of other bands, they just they dismembered because of that. So somebody's getting the front too much, or they think they should get a few more lines here, or the camera should be on me more, yada yada yada, all that other craziness. But but to me as a whole, I look for artists that one are family oriented, which means they got a good head on their shoulders. The next thing is they really love what they're doing. And usually if they do some type of video, or if you listen close enough to their music, you can hear that or see that. So that's been the basic focal point of what I've been doing. Because I mean, you've got everybody. Hey, I'm the best rapper in the world. I can do this. I'm the man. Da, 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 da. And then all of a sudden you ask them a question. Hey, can you be on? I need to talk to you about some music. Well, I don't have time. Whoops. Okay. X on you right there. Because if you don't have time to talk about music, Jack, you're gonna make excuses all the time, and you're not in this game. You're in it for the women or the money, or the supposed bling that you're going to get. So
Yeah. And I think you moved us nicely there to talk about group dynamics and keeping everyone happy. And I just want to ask Calvin about one of the things I experienced as a massive frustration when I was growing up is that I was in loads of different bands, but I just felt that there was always this thing where the bass player was trying to sound like Flea, the guitarist was always trying to play blues, the drummer's always cracking out some ridiculous mega rhythm, and then you're just in the middle of this going, I'm trying to make something original and unique here.
Yeah.
How do you, exactly, I think we all have, right? But how do you steer all of that? There's obviously these people who have enough creative energy to want to be in a room together with their instruments and express themselves. So how do you steer that towards something that is actually going to be, a piece of music that people are going to want to go out of their way to listen to?
You know what? It's funny. It's just like this Twine Hangout. You have something mutual that you want to share, and you have an appreciation for each other. Nobody, it's hard to talk to somebody who just talks all the time over everybody. That's like the drummer always just talking, like, come on, man, it's difficult, right? And you pull away naturally from those people. All those experiences you have with bands, and it didn't work out, is a good thing, because that helps for your maturity, because you know look out for, it's more than just drummer jokes and stuff. Like last night, for example, here's a perfect example of when things don't go right. We didn't really plan what we were going to do. We just haven't been in the studio for 3 weeks, so we were just eager to get back in it and get the groove back on. And so we rushed into it. And what happened is, even though we mutually respect each other and like each other, we didn't plan it. So it was like, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that. So it can be guys who are really, really together. But my advice for anybody that's currently in a band and just feel frustrated like you were, would be to stick at it. Don't just leave for the sake of leaving, because there's some experience that that you need to have in playing in bands. That helps for your maturity. But at the same time, keep on the lookout. You'll find people that are just like you, has a similar influence, or they respect what you're doing, and they're not going to hear you unless you're in a band. So that's why it's not a good idea to just jump ship unless it just stifles your creativity completely. Then just exit out. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I think that's really good advice. Jesus, have you had frustrating band experiences? What's your take on this?
You can call me Brain or Brainiac.
Cool.
Yeah. I've been working with several bands, and I got my own record label down in Spain back in the days, and that was hella frustrating. Like having to push all these people to be productive and let's go record. You gotta have this track and this track ready for this single in a couple of weeks, you know. And it was always pushing, and it's exhausting, you know. Sometimes you gotta like take a step back and do your own thing, and if they are really interested in growing, they will, you know.
That is the key there, for real.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
It's not a super positive experience. My experience has been pretty frustrating, you know, in this field of trying to push a lot of people and do things. It's been like,
For sure.
very, very hard work. I'm more like right now trying to focus on my own thing, and you know, otherwise my life could, you know, go away and spending my whole life trying to push everybody to work around me, you know what I'm saying?
Would you do it again? And what, if you were to do it again, what would you change?
Wow.
I would probably, I wouldn't sign people that I'm friends with, you know?
Right.
Because as everybody knows, you know, business and friendship, you gotta separate that, and otherwise they take a lot of, you know, I don't know how do you call it in English? Like, they are too confident and they go, you know.
Yeah, they're too arrogant.
They take advantage. They take advantage of it a lot. I mean, I've been in that situation as well, to where I tried to help and push a lot of artists, because as an indie artist myself and having a label, I want to see these talented people get where they want to go, but not everybody's on the same page. Some people think they got it all figured out. Some people think that they're better than this next person. Why am I spending more time with this person than doing with this? You know, it's just so much headache. That's why I decided to focus on myself as well, and really just revamp the whole core of everything. And hey, I feel so much better. It's less of a headache. Let's just put it that way. It's less of a headache.
I heard that.
I think I will. If I could go back in the days, you know, back in like 10 years, I will learn to delegate also, because I was trying to do everything, like producing, recording, mixing, mastering, the promo management, like everything, and it was like a headache.
I hear you.
Yeah. On my deal, I do the opposite. I try to do more of myself, because the more I try to delegate, the more screwed up it became. But
I know.
I hear you on that.
It's really hard.
And I think it's important, right, that when you've got an ensemble, that you try and make sure that, you know, there's not just one guy who's just staying up till 4 a.m. doing everything, like, and setting up the recordings, doing mixing, you know, and basically just kind of being the babysitter to everyone else. Like, no one wants that.
This is why, from the very, very beginning, you've got to set your boundaries. You know, everyone's got to know what each one is bringing to the table, and just making that very, very clear. Like there's
exactly.
Because I mean, it's you know, it's like Brainiac was saying. You know, friends, the business is difficult if they just see you as a friend. You know, you've got to put that professional part up. I was just trying to message a friend of mine. He known this label, Humble Beast, over in Portland. And those guys were the lead guy's a rapper. His name is Braille, and I think he's had like 3 or 4 different labels before Humble Beast. Now I know Humble Beast because obviously it's successful, but you know he's had a lot of failures along the way, and failed marriages, dare I say it, or marriage. So he's had a lot of brokenness in his life, but it hasn't stopped him making those goals. And the unit that he has now is, I mean, from the outside, I'll have to message him and find out what it's like in the inside, because he's friends with him. But there's a lesson to be learned that, you know, one, yeah, we do get burnt. You know, that's what it's like to have a relationship sometimes, you know, especially when they let you down. But what's important is that you are professional and you set your boundaries, your goals from the outset. And that you find those times for just chilling with your brother, and then okay, let's go to work. You know, I have a green room right next to us, so we don't eat in the studio and drink in the studio, because otherwise we just chill, you know, and relax and start, you know, we kind of, we joke a lot. So if we have a room to do what, chilling, and we have a room to work in, and we got to set that. It's very difficult when you got, a home studio, because the home studio is your home. It's,
you chill anyway. Yeah.
Hey, big advice for anyone who has a studio, home studio: move your computer as far away from your bed as possible.
Right.
It doesn't work, boss. I'm gonna tell you that now.
I just got the message. Braille had 4 labels before a successful one in Humble Beast. But back to the bed thing. Move it far away because you get too casual. Let your workspace be your workspace.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
Yeah. I think one of the other things is to make it clear from the get-go when a project needs to be finalized, because I've been involved in groups before where we need to get something out within 24 hours, and the guys are just being way too chilled about it, and you're walking around wanting to pull your hair out.
Right.
No, man.
It's not being listened to, and it's like, are you taking this seriously, or are you just playing around? Because if you are, then you should probably find a different group.
Exactly. I've been there. I've been there. Jeez, I've been there. I mean, a lot of these people, they want the notoriety, but they don't want to put in the work. And that's the sad part about it. Like you said, I mean, with the project, I've had to let so many people go because I'd be okay, here's a project, and I've put it 3 months in advance. Okay, I need this from you, I need this from you, and I provide the music, and I'm like, look, I need this, and everyone's still like, okay, in 2 weeks you should be able to knock out 2 tracks, okay, even if you've got everything else to do. But no one is prepared, and I'm just like, really? So are you taking it serious, or are you just wasting time? Because time is money, and this is a business.
Exactly.
So if you're not really serious about this craft and everything you're doing, then it's a part-time gig, so you need to stick to a full-time job, and it's not music. So,
there is a difficulty, because, I mean, there is virtually 0 businesses in the world where you have everybody 100% productive. There is that 20-80 rule, where 20% of the people will be doing 80% of the work.
Yeah, Pareto's law.
Yeah.
I see it in my own band. We talk about it in my own band, and it doesn't change. There's some allowances that you have to give for certain types of individuals, and in those situations, you have to kind of understand where they are, where music is a priority, and for them it may be just a creative outlet. For them, it may. I just like playing the keys, And for you, it's like, hey man, I can see there's great potential. I'm just like, Joe, I want this album out next week. You know what I mean? So, I'm the type of person to just, hey guys, yeah, cool, yeah, how's the week? Yeah. All right, let's go to work. I'm that guy. I can snap to it. Some guys are just like chilling in the back of the studio, going, yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, it's cool. And the input is very loose, but you have to kind of understand people's personalities and plan for that,
Yeah, definitely.
And trust me, I don't want to lose my hair.
No.
It's a long time to get to this.
Yeah, you worked too hard for that.
I should have met you a few years ago because mine is gone. But anyway.
I'm gonna see some of these pictures, man. Like I want to see you in a rock band, gospel band, and what else you said? A hip hop band?
Yeah, I've played just about every style of music there is, except for the new stuff that's came out in the last 10 years. I've done R&B, rock, jazz. I played a little jazz, funk, heavy metal, gospel, and the only band that I was in that actually worked was the hard rock band. And at that point, we were just about at the pinnacle to where we could have gotten signed. But of course, that's when parents stepped in and, hey, you guys, you can't rely on this music thing here because it's not going to pay you. You're going to crash and burn. You need to get a secondary thing happening. And of course, that's where the band went, booyah. And of course, everybody's making good money these days. But I'm the only one that actually stayed hard fast in the music world because I mean, that's why I went to school and got a job anyway, so I could pay for all my music equipment.
Just getting back to the thing of sort of taking it seriously. So one of the things that I found that I just eventually gave up on was trying to get people who obviously didn't have the passion to put into practice to actually do it. Because I feel like it's important that when you're working with people for the first time, you kind of scour out how much they're willing to put in beyond the minimum rehearsals. And if people keep turning up and the music's just at the same level of lack of preparation and just all over the place, then I just felt after a while that it's better to just try and spend the energy finding people who would do that rather than spending all your time pushing those people to do it, because they obviously don't want to, otherwise they do it from the get-go, right?
Been there on that one too. They're few and far between, my brother.
Yeah. You're right, though.
But Brain, I just wanted to talk more about, so you've obviously been involved in with quite a lot of Spanish artists, and in Spain, what's the attitude like? Are people, is the attitude to be a grafter, or is it quite hard to get people to get stuff for release?
Can you repeat the question? Are you talking about like record label managers or CEOs, or?
No, I'm talking just about people, artists, in groups. Just your experience of just getting them to get tracks out, and just the quality of the time they put in preparing their work.
Yeah, I think that nowadays they are a little bit more hard workers. I think that the American way of working, like releasing many mixtapes and videos all the time, that's been positive worldwide, because anyone that wants to make some noise in this, they are realizing that they have to do a lot of work. It's not just releasing a track every 6 months, you have to be out there all the time, and also music is more spendable nowadays, and the attention span of the people is very, very short, so you really need to be pushing yourself and working harder and harder and putting a lot of stuff out there. And back in the days it was much different. You were looking for certain tracks or certain albums, and the majors were dominating. And probably Chazz can talk about this much better than me, but in Spain I think lately I've been seeing a lot of growth and people, spending much more time working and less talking and all that.
That's cool. Yeah, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I think that must be down to, as you say, people having less attention span on tracks. So people feel like they have less time to fool around, right? Because there's just people need to get stuff out and get it out quickly.
Consistency is the key, consistency. Yep. You got to be consistent, If you're not consistent, then, and like you said, once every 6 months you're putting something out. Okay, now me, I'm famous for doing that, but that's only because I'm working on the business end of things and not on the artist part.
Right.
Now I've gotten the business part all down to, it's solid, the core is now. Now I'm back to my artist part, which will be starting next week. I'll be back heavy in the booth with more visuals and everything like that. So it all depends on the person. And see, I've got a passion for this. So, and everybody knows that. I mean, I will stay consistently blowing up your news feed from anywhere that I'm on the site that you're connected and following. Yes, you will see my face as soon as you open up your computer or your phone. Yes, very consistent. It's a difference. I have a passion. Not everybody has a passion, like we always say. I mean, you can tell who has a passion about what they do, and the ones that are just like, hey, I'm just going to see what happens. I've been through that. I've been through that numerous times, and now I'm good with everybody I got around me. So I couldn't be happier.
Yeah. And I think also it's about having a story. It's something we were talking about last week, having a good narrative. Because if you don't have that as an artist, people aren't really going to engage. So, Calvin, how do you form as a group? How do you get a narrative together? I mean, if you've not got a story to start with, from the way that you met up? Like, there's nothing particularly remarkable about that. How do you fabricate a story as a group that's going to engage people?
Well, I mean, it's actually more easy than you think. Firstly, you know, people's screen time, and when I mean screens, I'm talking about cell phones, iPads, your laptop. We don't have to go to a desktop computer, which was in the side of the room anymore. We have portable devices, so our screen time has gone up. And then you got TV, and TV is demand or live. So we've got so many, we're competing with that. So what we have to do is put our unique story, which is ourselves, in a linear fashion that people can track you, go back and find out more about you. And, you know, like Bish was doing, he's doing it every 6 months. He's got something, so he's building up 3 months before the drop. So, you know, so there's things happening every 3 months. But if you break that down even more, he's doing all his promos and he's doing his studio time in between those. So every month and a half, he's on a 6-week cycle. And that's just me guessing. So to be that prolific, there is going to be a story. There's some ups and downs. And, you know, there's a brother called Andy Mineo, New York. He did Saturday cartoons. And that's a play on words, tunes. And every Saturday he had a beat come out. And it was just a freestyle. He was just, you know, one crazy producer that would want to work on that schedule. And then him. And then it's them with video cameras, all cell phones, giving you a window of what it's like to just put out cartoons, you know, and that's a great way to build up momentum to your drops, you know. So their narrative is, hey, we're crazy, we're just gonna rap about random things and be cool about it, and you guys are gonna like it because we do it every Saturday. We're giving you more fun. And he's matching people's screen time, and you know his audience, they love it. But for us, I mean, we're not going to rush that because we're you know, obviously when you have a physical band, you know, our narrative is a little slow, and but it's well thought out. So we're going to get to a period where we're promoting what we're doing and who we are. You know, I was an ex-DJ, one's an ex, you know, graph, and we're kind of reminiscing hip hop back in the '90s with our sound, but we play it live like the Roots, and that's kind of our thing, you know. So we want to play that out, you know, with some series of videos. Bizzle from God Over Money, he had, I think he did music video releases ahead of the album. So I think he had like 5 or 6 videos, 3 before the album, 3 after the album. And what it did, it helped with the momentum. People were talking about it. All the main, you know, blogs were talking about it. And then there was a couple more coming on, and that momentum after the first 2-3 weeks wave of success was continuing on for 2-3 months because of these videos were going viral, and it was getting more popular because it's like, hey, I got the album, check this out, check this video out, this is my man, and just, you know, so you have to find a strategy that suits your audience.
That's it.
Know their screen time, know what they do. Some guys don't like seeing the artists every day. It's boring, right? And just like Brainiac was saying, you know, music's become a commodity because you can just download it. You know, you got YouTube. Just, you know, there's no obligation to go onto YouTube and check out a couple of videos. And unless you're plugging your album or your brand, and you know, you got to trace it back. You got to put you got to put some breadcrumbs to your website.
Right.
Back to social media. You got to do that. It's hard work, but again, planning is essential.
I completely agree with that. Although I think what I'd add more than that is that, you know, we only, you know, on Earth we only live, you know, once. So, you know, those people are giving up a small part of their lives to come and see you perform or listen to your track or whatever, and you know, you've got to give them something that's going to make them want to sacrifice that time to do that.
That's true too.
Yeah, and I feel like often, you know, people don't realize the seriousness of that, and then are surprised when people aren't engaged with what they do. And I think it's important that people realize that you know, what you're doing is taking, you know, some time out of someone's life to listen to your work. So give it the seriousness and the gravity that it deserves.
Yeah, it's not what you say, it's how you say and present things too that can catch people's attention. Because people will just scroll through things all day and they'll see, okay, how many people have liked it already. But if you present it in a way that's going to catch people's attention, be like, well, let me check that out. Then now and they like it, then they're going to pass it on and see now you've created, you know what I'm saying, some kind of bond with these people now and become fans of your work. And you have to be consistent. You can't just have all your music be the same as well. You know, you should always be wanting to elevate your music as far as like go upward. You want to do something better. You give them versatility. You know, you may come out with a trap song here, but don't let all your music be trap music unless you're a trap artist. And not everybody is wanting to hear that now. Do something that's R&B, or do something for the clubs, or do something that's going to catch people's attention. You know what I mean? That's what you need to do, and it's all in how you present things and the presentation of it all. Like you said before, Calvin, you were like an album cover would be a perfect thing too.
Exactly.
You know, something that'll catch people's attention just from the cover alone. You know, they'll be like, hey, that looks dope. Hey, let's check that out. You know what I mean? You know, so it's
hey, Bishop, could
so
you stop reading my mind, man?
hey, Cuzzo, you already know me. Hey, I can't help it. I'm a borderline genius, but you know.
But I think, Chazz, there's a danger, right, that if you're constantly trying to like get attention, it just ends up being a gimmick, and that's not what you want. So how do you keep it fresh?
Well, me personally, how do I keep it fresh? I'm always hitting you with zingers. You're never gonna know what I'm gonna come up with. That's why people pay attention to me consistently.
That's the key.
From when I first started, when I jumped away from the shadows of being with the groups of people that weren't on the same page with me and the same passion, every day is something different. You're not gonna see me consistently just pushing just my music. You're gonna see progression as far as my label. You're going to see progression as far as me being an artist of what I'm connecting myself with or whatever I'm doing. So pretty much it's like a movie and people are watching and waiting for the next episode, you know, basically. So that's how I did it myself. I mean, it's just all in my own marketing and branding. My blueprint is working beautifully for me for the past 6 years, and if it's not broke, I won't fix it.
Yeah.
Amen.
I think it's down to the music style as well, because, you know, with hip-hop, we champion the small guy. We want the small guy to win, you know.
I root for the underdog. I root for the underdog daily.
That's a good thing. Yeah, we want him to beat the big guy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we expect that small guy to be hitting our news feeds more often, you know.
Yep.
So there's a certain level of expectation, and at the same time, look, you know, there's mutual respect for weekend that we're trying to achieve, you know. It takes a lot of hard work to get art out there. And at the same time, with artists being shoved so much music in their face, they're still trying to find something that they can just believe in and hang on to, you know? Yeah. They know that they're being competed for their attention. You know, they're clever. You know, we have to give them respect too, you know? They want to, there's no one turns up to a concert just to boo or get frustrated. They want They want to find you, you know, and, you know, with Spotify and Apple Music and whatever title, it's like panning for gold, man. We're all panning for gold. We're all finding that song that connects. And that's why we do music, because we want to connect.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And I think
I agree.
That's the difficult thing about being in a group, is that you need to find something together that can connect. I mean, and you've got to express something that all of you can create that chimes with people, and you don't want one person, you know, that's kind of jibing with that or causing tension against that, because it's just going to undermine it.
Yeah, but even that's like panning for gold, as you can tell. I mean, earlier in our Google Hangout, sounded like a kind of a social gathering, kind of talking about our pain points when it comes to bands. And you know what? But the funny thing is, I feel the same way. Like, I was feeling your pain there, Joe. Like, and you know, I could see Chazz just kind of looking up, going, "Oh yeah, you know, singing my song." Yeah. You know, and it's funny but that's all part of the beauty. Because once you find that individual, and he is out there, and
yes, sir.
And that's what makes it. That's what makes it worth it. You know. Go find your clip. You know, go if you're a hip hop artist, go find your engineer that's deeply passionate about what you're doing. Go find that. You know, if you're a producer, go find where those your favorite rappers are. Yeah, they might. You know, maybe they're just starting out. But you need to spot talent too. You know,
Yeah.
Right.
waves. Don't always look for the guy on top and try and climb to get there. Pay, you know, you gotta pay your dues. So find guys, especially on Twine. You know, it's a good way to just hear everyone's talent without even seeing anybody. Then reach out and just say, hey man, I really like what you're doing. Hey, let's do a skills trade. That's my new big thing right now. I need your work. You need some of my work. Hey, let's build from there, and then take it to Skype and start building friendships. And you never know where it take you, but
it's funny you say that because that's how me and Joe met. But anyway, go ahead.
I mean, look, hey, we're all here together because of social media.
Exactly.
Let's step back in our minds for a second. Social media has been powerful in us to get together, share our passion from different countries, and feel Joe's pain, and lend each other advice. And anytime I'm sharing, I'm showing my passion. And
right.
Don't do this. I'm not gonna find somebody who's equally passionate about what I'm doing, because they will just message me on Twitter and then go, "Hey Cal, I really appreciate what you're saying, man, and this is what I'm doing," and I'm gonna listen, because it's like, "Hey man, thanks for listening."
Yeah.
I love that part too.
And I'm having a conversation, a dialogue. We would do this in a cocktail party. Just this cocktail party is online, so
right.
Yeah, that's the whole point, right? Is that people love connecting and sharing their ideas, right? And that's really what music allows you to channel. Like that's the important thing.
Yes. As far as connecting with people on Twine, I've connected with a producer named Realistic, and we talk outside of Twine now. We talk actually on the phone, and I've gotten music from him that I'm going to be using for singles with these new projects that I have come out. So yeah, anybody that hasn't joined Twine yet, you really do need to, because there's a lot of people that are ready to do work, and you never know what's going to happen. I mean, I love it, man. I mean, I'm willing to work with anybody that wants to work with me. Let's make hits. Nope, let's not make hits. Let's make classics. I like making classics.
Right, there you go.
I don't like anybody can make a hit. I like making classics, music that's timeless. When you hear that drop and you hear whatever, you're like, yo, that's my song. It could be 6 years ago, but it's still gonna be hot. Period.
Right.
Let's make classics.
Yeah.
I have a saying: I don't make beats, I make songs.
You know what I'm saying?
A beat just stays a beat.
Right.
A song is a linear experience that will capture you for like 4 minutes, and that's what I want. I want to capture your attention for 4 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Undivided attention.
I just wanted to end just talking about that in terms of permission, because I get quite a lot of people on Twine message me and say, I'm an artist in the US and I want to work with someone in Europe, or the other way around. And they say, how can I do that? And I say, well, you've just got to, you've told me what the person on there that you want to work with, just connect with them and start working. And it almost feels like they need permission from someone to get out of their comfort zone and make stuff happen. And so, yeah, I just wanted to hear from Brainiac. Do you think that for artists there is this sense that these days with the internet, they can just get themselves out straight away, but all they need to do is give themselves permission to do that? What do you think is the obstacle that stops them from doing it?
It could be depending on the person, and their psychology. Some people have, fear to success. Some people don't have enough confidence. I don't know. You need to have like a good balance of, self-confidence and being able to talk with people, don't being too shy, and put yourself out there, and you can connect with everyone and anyone you want. Nowadays it's really easy. I mean, the only hard part maybe is to get to the big guys that you have to go through 3 or 4 people, but you can get to them if you want, and sometimes you have to put a budget for that.
Right.
But
the self-motivation deal is the big key, just like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really is. Believe in yourself before others will, because if you wait for other people to give you acceptance, good luck with that.
Exactly.
I did an album in 2007 in Spain that nobody did before, and it was half in Spanish and half in English. And I put together like 30 artists from around the world, and almost 100% of this album was connections through MySpace. You know, like hitting up people over the internet and you know, talking about the label and the project, and let's do this album together. And it came out great, man. Like on vinyl, CD, and it was. But nowadays, it's a must-have in the Spanish hip-hop scene, you know. Right. So yeah, everything is believing in your idea and your vision, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so it's just about having the confidence to step out there and meet the people that you need, but also I think know what your goal is. And when I hear people say, you know, I want to make money from creating music, like that's fine as an overall goal, but you need to know what your short-term goals are, your long-term goals are, because otherwise, if you don't know what you're working towards, then it's hard enough, being a freelance creative as it is, without actually having a plan of action to make it happen.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It's sort of like when you start a business too. What they say, you have to have that what you call a business model. Mm-hmm. Basically, where you're going to start, how you're going to end up here, where you're looking to be in 6 months to a year type deal. And of course, just like my man said, you got to have that self-confidence. You got to, think everything through and make the right selections, because, of course, everybody makes mistakes and you're going to run into that bad person here and there. But, once you get a goal set, you focus on that. You bring in the people that you need, producers, bands, lyricists, studios, whatever you need. Once you get all that in, yes, the only thing that's going to stop you basically is yourself. So,
it's funny.
But make sure that the goal is obtainable. Make sure the goal is obtainable, though. Don't make a goal that's that's just outrageous, and that you don't have the confidence or the patience to even reach that goal. Make sure it's obtainable. Start small first. Once you accomplish that, then keep it moving. I mean, start off with a list of 5 things that you want to accomplish. Start off with the first one. Once the first one's going nicely, start working on the second one. I mean, that's
I have
how
a slight problem. I have ADHD, so.
But you know what I'm saying, though.
I know. Yeah, that's been my biggest problem, because like you said, start with a goal, start small. Me, I get 6 projects start. Once I finish one, I've added 12 more. And I'm constantly running around instead of taking my time and getting 1, 2, 3, 4 done. And I have a short, just like you were saying, I have a short attention span, so I can get in here and I'm listening to a jam. This is hot right here. I need to mix this, and all of a sudden, something will distract me, and I go over there. Now I'll just put pause on that, which I shouldn't have, and gone to something else. So yeah, that's just a whole problem that I have, and basically I haven't in my 55 years. I haven't gotten over it yet. But anyway, I'm still working. I'm still working on it. I mean, it's a daily thing.
We're always learning. We're always learning.
Yes, exactly.
What I was saying is, I'm in exactly that position now. I don't want to give the impression that I've made it and I'm a big guy or anything, but there is I won't mention his name because I'm sure he's going to be watching this video, and he's a big artist, at least in my eye, and I've had his details for a while, and I hadn't pushed that button because I also know if anyone was trying to reach out to me, I need to have my ducks in a row. So I've been working on my portfolio. That's a big reason why I'm on Twine. I wanted to show my dexterity. I have lots of different sounds on there, and I reached out to him confidently and said, "Hey, look, this is kind of what I've got. If you want to talk business, let's talk business." But you gotta. The confidence sometimes comes in with how confident you are of your work. You have to put it out there. Use Twine as a great way to sort of put your portfolio out. I think out for people. It makes it easier. People just go straight to your portfolio. You don't have to send them like 150 links.
Right. Yeah.
Just go say, hey, look, just go check out this, or give them links from your Twine. You're right there in Twine communicating. So and I haven't heard back from him yet, so.
Let me know.
I will.
Well, on that note too, Calvin, I met a guy probably about a month ago. Says he can sing very well. People compliment him on singing. How could he get connected? Of course, I turned him on to Twine.
Lots of connections in there.
Got the freeze.
Oh.
And basically, he asked me, "What do you do?" Yeah, my phone rang. People are calling me.
Cool.
But he asked me, "What did I do?" And I'm going like, "Well, did you even check out my profile?" "Oh, that's right." So some people don't even know exactly what they should be doing or how to connect. You sort of got to educate them there as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, I think it's time to wrap it up now, guys. But thanks very much for taking part in another Twine Hangout. And it's a shame we didn't get Kokane in on the call, but hopefully in future be good to have him on because he's got a wealth of experience to share. But you guys have been brilliant today. Thank you. And I hope to see you in next week's and future Twine Hangouts.
Be there.
Cool, nice one.
Yeah, I'll try. Have a good one, Joe.
Yeah, have a good week, guys, and yeah, see you soon. Take care.
Take care.
Thank you.
Cheers.